Welcome back, everyone, and today I'm talking about are gamers nerds? Well, today a lot of people think, especially non-gamers, that gamers are nerds. It's because of pop culture, because of society, because of movies that we see, and television, and commercials, and songs, and everything makes us all believe that gaming is not cool. Well, I think that, yes, gaming is maybe not the coolest of pastimes in the sense it's not very social. You may not get a lot of friends necessarily, although that's not strictly true. Lots of gamers have lots of friends, even though they're not physically right next to them. Doesn't make them any less valuable or real. They're still real people, just across the world somewhere. The same thing happens with people who are just Skyping others, or who are on Facebook, or whatever. People who don't game constantly criticize gamers for having a social life on the web, but come on, nowadays you can't use that argument anymore. Everyone's got a life on the internet. Most people have more of a life on the internet than anywhere else, regardless of whether they're gamers or not. So that argument is just ridiculous, especially in today's technological world. Furthermore, of course, there are gamers, and there are gamers. So an FPS shooter like Call of Duty attracts a lot of people, and most of them would not consider themselves gamers. They're just people who enjoy to have a good time online with a couple of mates, shooting up some people. And that's fine, just as it is fine to play World of Warcraft for 2 years straight, 12 hours a day. I never have done that, but I know people who have. And of course, there is at that point when you're playing 12 hours a day and you're playing a game like World of Warcraft, which is notoriously nerdy, there is a point where it does become nerdy. But otherwise, gaming is a social action. It's a game, essentially, like playing a board game. It's just that you're playing it on a screen with more people, most likely. The same thing, people say also that gamers are just obsessed with gaming and they waste their time and so on. But honestly, people do the same wherever. I mean, people sit in front of screens, in front of their TV, in front of Facebook, in front of TV shows. Lots of people watch TV shows streaming online by themselves in their rooms. If anything, that's even more unsocial than gaming. Gaming actually brings people together online. It's riveting, it's exciting, it's a lot of fun, and it can be really social. It doesn't have to be you stuck in a dingy old room like you see in the movies, people typing away on lit up keyboards and drinking a month-old Diet Coke. Like, that is not necessarily what people do, and most people don't do that. So to say that gaming is a nerdy, unsocial, reclusive activity is not very valid, because everyone's on their computers. And yes, maybe, on the other hand, taking the other side of the argument, gamers are more prone to being drawn in, to being sucked into a game, and therefore having less breaks. I mean, people who watch TV shows will watch an episode and walk away, typically, right? But gamers are known to sit and play for many hours straight, and at that point, you do risk not getting out and having a social life. But still, there is an extremely large gap between a nerd and a gamer. A nerd, that's even harder to define what a nerd is. People have different definitions. I don't know what my definition is, honestly. It could be a guy who programs for a living. But at that point, nerds are proud to be nerds, and they don't even care if you call them a nerd. That's their identity. And on a side note, I feel like very recently that nerds and the aura around them is a bit more positive. Movies have been depicting characters that are a little bit less macho man and more the guy next door kind of thing. And like in Transformers, for example, he's the hero, but he's a bit of a nerd, isn't he? So actors like Shia LaBeouf and well, I can't really think of any others at the moment, but there are some people are warming up to nerds, socially awkward people. The explosion of Reddit online has skyrocketed the recluse, shall we call them, which they're not, but the recluse online community into the spotlight. And people who have been living on their computers for years are being given a voice and being heard and being acknowledged as people who actually have an opinion, should be counted, and are smart and not necessarily socially awkward people. So that's my 2 pence, my 2 piece on are gamers nerds? No, they're not. I don't believe so. You guys go out there, tell people what you think, and write in the comments box below what you guys think. Thank you very much for watching this video, listening to my commentary, and subscribe for more Call of Duty and gaming related